Hello again, my friends. I got another question from our friend Kylie about the PMP exam, and this has to do with cost management as it relates to schedule. And the idea is, could a schedule risk trigger more cost, and how? That's really the essence of the question. And the answer is, if you're in a predictive project, think about what happens when you're running late. What do? You try to add more resources to the project to get the work done on time. We call that crashing. So you may need to crash a project to get the schedule back in alignment with the plan. And that's one of the ways that a schedule risk, when it materializes, could lead to spending more money. In the same token, you could also think about something known as fast tracking. Now, fast tracking means those activities which should have ordinarily been done in sequence are now being done in parallel. So if you're doing these activities in parallel, it could lead to additional risk in terms of whatever you're doing. You might end up not doing that good a job. Also think about the fact that if you end up not doing that good a job on those activities that you're doing in parallel, that could lead to an even bigger problem. Defects, rework, cost of quality, in other words, cost of non-conformance. So you could have trouble from many angles. Now, if you're in the world of Agile, it is important that you do not think about penalties for not finishing a task within a sprint. In fact, we tend not to focus that heavily on the word task right up front in the world of Agile. At first, we're concerned with the product itself, epics, user stories, spikes, and stuff like that. But as we begin getting into the sprint, that's when we begin focusing on the tasks or the activities, if you will. But nothing precludes a team from ending a sprint if a task is not done. You know, it's Agile, right? So we're not all hung up about a task being done. I know in the world of predictive, yeah, all tasks have to be done by such and such a time within such a phase, or we're running late and we need to get back on track. But in the world of Agile, there are many times a user story may not even be touched. What happens? Well, that user story, or it might even be a backlog item that is not necessarily a user story, but that backlog item, whether it's a spike, whether it's an epic, whatever it is, it could get put back into the product backlog for work at a different time. Now, what happens when you put work back into the backlog is it has to be reassessed. It has to be revalued. It has to be looked at with a fresh pair of eyes based on the current conditions. So at the beginning of an endeavor, even a sprint, you could have a backlog item that was high prominence, but as you're getting done with the sprint, that backlog item could become low prominence, low value. Maybe the time has passed, or maybe marketplace conditions have necessitated a different approach. So in the world of Agile, when you're thinking about schedule risk, you have to think about it differently. In other words, don't be fixed on every task being done as within the sprint that we first estimated it in. No, you need to think about tasks being done at the right time, which is within the sprint. But if not within the sprint, it's not a cardinal sin like we look at it in the world of predictive. You just say, okay, we didn't get to this, put it back into the backlog, revalue, reestimate, reassess, whatever you're doing. And at the end of the day, the product owner decides whether that item needs to be done on the next sprint or not. All right, so this is how you need to be thinking about the world of Agile versus predictive, what we consider to be a risk and the way it's treated in the world of Agile, very different from predictive. Predictive, we say everything has to be done, it all has to be done. But in the world of Agile, no. You very well may not finish a user story. You very well may not even get to a user story. You very well may not even complete 1/10 of it. And no one's gonna penalize you or, you know, have huge ramifications because it's Agile. Okay, I hope this helps, and I hope this answers your question. If you got additional questions, feel free to send them in and let us know. Okay, Take care, Kylie. I hope this helps everyone else. Bye for now.